Good evening, Judy Allen here, San Antonio, Texas. And yes, I am home. And yes, everybody's gone. There's no hammering, there's no drilling, there's just all that kind of construction noise is gone. Just couldn't do it today at lunchtime because they were still doing all that kind of stuff. And it's giving me a headache personally, and I couldn't hear myself. So this evening's much quieter and much better. So today we're going to make a recipe box from the Filled with Sweetness. You just saw a box that I made, and that's actually Case from Stampin' Up! With their Artisan Designs team. It's actually posted out there. And using it to inspire one that I'm going to create this evening for us that's going to deal with peaches, right? Because I have a special friend that she likes to have peach jam with anything that's got habanero sauce in it. So she's my inspiration for this evening. I've already made some cards. I don't have any of the cards left because, as you know, I was on stage back in Los Angeles. Just got back with a new catalog and all the freebie stuff they gave us. Tons of fun. And so I gave away the cards that I had already made with this bundle. So I don't have any of those to share with you this evening because I already showed you. You just have to go back and look at the previous video. And also, we'll have some pictures posted, but I just don't have the actual cards to show you. I have one in the making. That's about it. So let's go down the hands and do this. And I actually even talked about peaches in the panel that I talked about. So this is what I've made. And it's going to just come out like this, and the card's going to be in here. It's actually, I'm going to show you what it's going to look like, right? I've already started on it because it's a gift, right? But I talked about peaches at the panel that I was on because I made 30 to 40 cards in a day with this beautiful paper, and then I turned around and made this as well too. And I've been demonstrating for 5 years, so this was in the beginning, right? I love it, love it, love it. So we're talking about a recipe box. But I bet you this is what my recipe box looks like, and that's not even all my recipes, right? I have plenty more that have nothing to do with what we're making right now, because that was like the all-encompassing. This is going to be a very special one. So here's what I've already started. Let me show you. So I'm actually going to make a recipe box with some recipe cards. This one's not finished, but it has going to have lines on the inside. What's wrong?
I don't know why you have an echo.
I don't know.
I have you in my ear. Just keep talking.
Okay, all right. All right. She's listening, just got to go. So you hear that's my lovely daughter in the background. You may show your face. You can wave to people. There's her hand. All right, all right. So wait, this isn't finished, but if you go look at the one I did previous week, I actually put a lid on here and add homemade for you. But I'm actually going to do this with some recipes on here and can put them on the inside. So this recipe box is going to be for peach recipes only.
You're fixed.
Thank you, Beck, she said.
Bye, everyone.
If everything was in life fixed that easy, right? All right. So in this particular one, I also used the embossing folder, right? But the key for this was for me to get the height and everything. And I'm going to give you all the measurements. I had to put this in here so I knew, right? So when the person gets their gift and they got a recipe in there, I'm going to put at least one. I'll put my favorite recipe in there with jams. And so that I knew what the height was going to be and everything like that. So that's what it would look like with the cards in there. And as you can see, once you make the box, you can put several recipe cards in here. Man, I was like, oh yeah, you can knock it out. All right? So I'm going to show you what I did here. And ours is going to be a little bit different today with the colors and everything because I'm gearing mine toward peaches. All right, so we're going to work on the lid first. So lid here, let me get my little card. So the measurements here for this is a 4 3/4 by 11, and it's going to be scored at 1/4 of an inch, 1 3/8, 5 5/8, 6 3/4 on the long side here, and then on the short side, so you can see that, and on the short side here, it's going to be scored at, I messed up, it's 1/2 an inch, and this is a 1/2 inch here, and this down here is 1, I can't feel it, so let's see if I can see it. Supposed to be 1 3/8. I'm not feeling it, so I might get to do it again. So the reason for the 1/2 inch here is we are going to tuck that in because I want to. This is going to be. I'm believing it's going to be used and reused. I wanted to have this nice tuck over like this with this edge here that's just going to give it some durability, right? Because I'm believing when I make this for this person, they're going to save this for life. And if you're looking and you think it's you, all right, just keep in mind you have to save it for life. And put all your various recipes you do. Let me take this off. This one traveled with me because we were supposed to bring it. We did it for after hours, and we did make and takes at lunch each day or right after lunch. So let's do this at 1 3/8. So 1, 2, 3. So it's just an eighth past a half an inch, right? So it's math. It is math. If you don't know, I found out. Oh, I just cut that. Ah, am I supposed to do that? Oh my gosh! All right. I'm thinking. We're gonna deal with it. I'm thinking. Maybe for the moment, though, I'm just gonna survive. I'm going to actually tape this on the inside for the moment, so I can get this done. Yeah, if you want to, you can bring me. It's the crushed curry. It's nice to have somebody to help me. Yes, because see this tape here, I can't take it off, right? Because the fact is, if I had to, and she wasn't here, this is what I would do, okay? I would just reinforce it like right there, knowing that I have tape there on the back side to help reinforce that. She's gonna, it's, you know what, it's on the counter right there by the sink. I have all my paper there when I was creating. All right, so now you're gonna find out all my secrets. All right, so this is 1 3/8 on this end here. And this one is, she's looking for my paper. It might be to the right of the sink. Trying to think where I had it. My hand touched it. Touched it last. Because it's a whole packet, right? All right, so you can see this here and here. Now, so what I did is I go ahead and I just make my box up, right? Because it's a good way to make sure of all your cuts and make sure you got everything. There she is, my lovely daughter. I get to see her. I haven't seen her in a whole week. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so you're going to get to see me do this. Cut it for you. All right? Okay. So we're going to follow my own instructions, which is always nice to follow your own instructions, test them out. So you can't see the 4 3/4. You're going to trust me that I'm going to put it on the 4 3/4, and it's 11 inches. So when I did this, right, so even though I'm casing with Allen Stampin' Up! Side, there's no measurements or anything. So I had to figure it all out myself or what I wanted to do. So this is 4 3/4 by 11. All right, and I'm going to turn it. And we are going to, might even take that cutting tool off. Yeah, you'd have to move the camera up is what you'd have to do. So anyway, well, Facebook, so while I've been gone out of town, I did notice that Facebook seems to have made changes.
When are they not making changes?
Well, that's true. That's true. So I'm gonna do this 1/4 inch. I hope you guys all enjoyed sharing. I mean, I enjoyed sharing with you all. When you see all the excitement at Long Beach. Okay, we can go to 1 3/8. All right, that is a problem. Let me take this one off. I'm gonna take this cutting blade off for the moment because I really don't want to accidentally cut something again. It's bad enough to do it once.
Is that better?
I was going to say, when I was out of town, that didn't happen. I was creating today, and that didn't happen. Yeah, except that thing keeps on falling out. It traveled. I need it.
I know. I was just gonna hold it for you.
Oh, okay, got it.
So you don't accidentally cut.
No, I took the cutting blade out.
Okay.
Oh no. Once was bad enough, right? I don't want to do that again. I just took the cutting blade out.
I actually have been known to do that.
Thank you, Sharon. Right? I was just like, no, I'm taking that out.
I have. Whenever I'm helping her perforate a bunch of stuff, I make sure to take out the cutter because I have cut.
Oh, it's very easy to do, right? It's very easy to do. That's 5 5/8, and then we can do 6 3/4. That's on the long side, and on the other side, then we're just gonna flip it, and we're gonna do this one here at a 1/2 inch. Yeah, I had the card up there and everything, and also 1/2 inch, and then we're going to do. On this other side, over here on the right side, we're going to do 1 3/8. So 1, 2, and 3. So that's before the 1/2 inch, right? Because that's 4/8. Okay. Whoop, whoop.
All right.
How's your weather, Sharon? I was going to say, we came home and we had a lot of wind here, but temperatures dropped, but you guys got a lot more than us. All right. So so this is what we're making. We're going to make the top first. Okay, so I'm just making sure she's adjusted the camera, so I'm just not sure where I am with the camera now.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's okay. That's all right. All right, so first thing I always like to do is go on the score lines, right? So we know what we got to work with. So the 1 3/8 is going to be the bottom, right? Because by the time you get through folding things in and everything, this is what you're going to end up with. And then I'm just going to come here. That was the top and bottom here, and then we're just going to go on these lines. So this 1/4 inch is just so that we make sure we finish off the lid to the box, right? And this is going to be the sides here. So what's going to happen here is the top is going to be just a little bit larger than the bottom, okay? Because we want the bottom to be able to slide in. I miss you guys. It'd be nice to take everybody with me. So the thing is we had Long Beach this year, right? So next year it's going to be virtual. Because in 2028 is going to be the 40th anniversary. And they're only going to have one. It's going to all be in Salt Lake City, Utah. So that's going to be really cool. They just want people to have time, especially for our people in Europe and all, to have time to save up and get ready for the 40th anniversary. And anybody else that wants to go to Utah. I've never been to Utah, so I'm excited.
That's interesting.
What's that?
Not all your comments are there. So I saw these ones.
That's a scoring blade. It wasn't the scoring blade that cut through the paper. It was, well, unless you've got really thin paper and you're putting a lot of pressure on it, that would. But like me, just thin. I actually cut, I was supposed to be using the scoring blade, and I used the cutting blade instead. So that's why I just popped it off so I wouldn't do that again. All right, and I just made sure that this was squared up, right? And make sure I didn't do anything different there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and finish the top, and I'm just going to take this here. And so I'm just going to come and I'm going to go on my scored lines and cut up to the scored line right here. And I'm just going to do this in all the corners. Now again, this is for me. I just did this to give this a nice finishing touch. I personally haven't done any canning in a while, or jars. When I lived in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, I did strawberries. We could go get strawberries, and we did strawberry jams. I did strawberry syrups. There were other berries and so forth. And I can get berries out on the farms, but if I can beat the animals to it, right? They love the blackberries. Okay, so what's the deal?
No, I don't know why. So hers are popping up here.
Oh, she's done the same thing too. I don't know. I mean, I am so glad you're here so you can see all these technology things I've been dealing with that I am clueless about, and I leave it to you as being my techie. Because for the life of me, I mean, even when you go on Facebook today, even on my phone, it looks totally different. Totally different than when I left it. I mean, all I did was go to Long Beach, California. That's all I did. Had a wonderful time, and I come home to technology. Well, even when I was traveling, the technology hadn't changed all the look and all as it is today. So I don't know if that's just from recently or what. I don't know what's going on. All right. So I'm going to just glue these down. That's all I did. She's figured something out. So anyway. To get this, she's laughing behind me. So it's okay. This is my world. In fact, you'll like this, Jennifer. So when I was on stage and I was on the panel, that was one of the things I talked about. Wished I had known in the beginning. So anyway, all this technology stuff. But anyway, it's okay. I still love you. Everybody will still love you, and I know you'll still love me. So we're just gonna survive all the technology stuff.
You never can tell one of these days I might have a robot in here with me to do it all for me. Not to replace you, but you work. You can always bail me out. And
yeah, I work very far away now.
Yes, you do. Yes, it's not like you can just come bail me out while you're at work. So, yeah, I did talk about that it's technology was, well, and I even talked about the phone, right? It's everything, right? It's everything that we touch is technology, and it's changing. It doesn't matter if it's your phone. It doesn't matter if it's your computer. It's like everything just keeps on changing. So, yeah.
So, do you have it where you're both...
I'm on this, and I'm also on Zoe.
Yes.
Zoe
so
and Nana.
When they comment, it literally has 2 separate comment sections.
Oh, does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's even different than it didn't used to be like that.
So this comments only show for Adventure Stamping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The video I was watching was through
Zoe and Nana. Yeah. Okay.
And those totally separate comments.
Okay. Yes, that's true. Yes. So. Yes, it's nice. So you guys are all getting an education on technology at the moment as well, too, besides just me. All right, so this is going to be, so this is the top of the box. I actually did crushed curry as the top. So again, we're going to do just like we do all the other time. And we're just going to trim this, right? So we're going to fold it inwards. And actually, this looks too long. Let me see what that measurement was again. I'll tell you right now, I already know it is, because this is way too long. Let's see what this is. This is, it says 1, no, this is like 1 3/8. That's what it says. But I'm telling you right now, it doesn't look right. Okay, now just keep on. Because I'm looking at my other box right now, and I'm thinking, that was no way, that's like, yeah, there's no way. Alright, let's see what I've got here. Let's see what I have here. It's supposed to be 1 3/8 unless I wrote something down incorrectly. And if I did it twice, so it wasn't like I did it. 1, 2. It says 1 3/8, but that can't possibly be right. Okay, bottom line is this lid's going to close one way or the other. And I'll have to, it looks like I might have to trim some of it off to make it right, because I'm going to have to go back with my other little notes downstairs and see if I copied something down wrong. I can't even blame anybody, because I had to go and build it myself. They didn't give us the information, so this is what you do, right? You go and guess it. Well, you know the side flaps are going to fit, but the problem is the top is going to be too long. You see what I've got here? So the width here, I've got a measurement that's not right here. So one thing that I know is right, when you go into your boxes, it's going to be the same, because that's the only distance you have. Whatever the size is what's all that you have. So my side here is, looks like 1 1/8. Let me see what my side was here. 1 1/8, and the top here was 1 1/8. Okay, so I have my instructions incorrect. So we need to cut this down to 1 1/8. And I just took my blade off. You know what? I had a very fun time in Long Beach. I'm thinking I didn't have any issues either. Everything just went hunky-dory. So, all right, let's see what we got. 1 1/8 here. I almost hate to even cut it the way things are going. I did have a pounding headache earlier, though. By the time I got to listen to them, like, no. It has to be 1 1/8 from the bottom there. Okay. I have to say, if I had to do it this way. So where my fold line is, my fold line needs to be on 1 1/8, okay? So I'm really just cutting off about 2/8. But I do have to make sure everything's squared up, right? Okay, so let me get that out of the way. You know, I don't think I'm gonna like this idea at all. 1 1/8. So that's an 1/8, and that's 2/8. Okay. Okay. You know, the good thing is today is Wednesday, and I have a couple more days, and I will be into the weekend, and that's all right, right? Okay, 1/8 and 2/8. But Jennifer, I'm glad you're here today to bail me out, you know. Yep. This is like trying to work with fabric. Ugh, that didn't do right either. Okay, that's all right. I'm going to cover it, and nobody's going to know except those of us that are watching. So when I do something like that there, I'm going to leave that on the outside there, and I already know how I'm going to fix it. Because the other piece is going to come on the other side and cover it, and I will just, instead of doing what I just did, I am just going to cut it with scissors. Are you videoing me? Okay. 6/8. Alright, so I'm just going to stick this out a second, and what I done earlier, I'd actually take one of my blocks and put them in here and let them be the weight to hold this down a second. In this particular case, I have 2 of them, just like that there. We'll let it hold there. So I was doing that, because if I did that and that's too long, that means this one's going to be too long. Because the instructions were the same. Now this one I can actually cut it differently. Yeah. So it should be 1 1/8 is what it should be. That's a big difference. Just gonna double check and measure. You know what, Jennifer? I'm thinking of you because I got to go behind backstage. So when I was telling you I got to, we're talking about stuff and all, I actually got, because I was a panel speaker, I got to go behind the scenes of backstage and see where all the technology and everything was, and that was way too cool. I know, right? But I thought of you as I was back there and getting to look at everything. So I didn't get hooked up with a microphone, right? That's okay with me. But because we just passed the microphone, I envisioned like, don't drop the microphone, right? Don't drop the microphone. And I didn't drop the microphone. Okay, so I'm doing this at 1 1/8, so it's going to be a little off on that end, just a little bit up there. We'll most probably cover it with something. But anyway, it was way too cool, so I thought of you when I did that. Alright, so now the only thing I'm concerned about is because this was really nice the way it fitted, because what's going to happen possibly now is my top of my, this one here. Yeah, so see, because of it, see how much shorter it's going to be? Ugh. Let me see what else it's going to be. So see what's going to happen is I'm not... So just so you can see the mistake. So because I accidentally, I didn't accidentally read my own directions, my own handwritten directions were incorrect. So just because now you can see how that's all the room I'm going to have to be able to put the lid on. And you really need to see how this is the difference here in height. And you can think that, well, it's not that much of a difference. But it really is. I'm going to go ahead and stick with it for the moment, but I'll most likely have to come back and redo it later because I really like having that extra. Right? Being able to come down here, knowing that you're going to have several in here. And I really don't, the person I'm giving it to, I don't want them to but you can see here, I can go and correct it, I can cut it off, right? I can literally cut that off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it for the moment because I don't want to have to do it again. Right? I know. Oh, but you know what, Jennifer? I had to laugh at myself as I say that.
Oh, and she goes, can you make your box flat and cut it that way?
No, I can't because I make my box flat. I don't think I can because I just did this.
Yeah, because you just, yeah.
I mean, I could resize this down too. All right, let's just roll with it. All right, let's roll with it. It's it's always an opportunity. We always talk about. Yeah. Yeah, but I already had the sides all glued, is what the problem is, and it wouldn't let me do that. Alright, you know what? It says always, we're going to continue on. I always tell you guys it's an opportunity for creativity. Well, this is real. I wouldn't want to disappoint you here, because this is really an opportunity for creativity. Because I've already done one like this before, and I like it, and I sized it up because it really needed the extra, right? Okay, so we're going to just deal with this, okay? Let me let it dry a second. I'll work on the bottom one. Just let it dry. We're going to cut it off. And I'm going to cut this other off. I was trying to think if there's any way I could add to it, but anyway, I can't. All right, let me go ahead and do this one. So at least I corrected this one after I realized this is like... All right, we're going to work with it. And ribbon is my friend. Okay. So we're doing the same thing on the bottom as I did with the top, except I'm going to have as many opportunities. That's not my goal, not to be that. So we're going to fold here and here. That's our sides. And we're going to come down here. And we actually have a score line right here. And there. So one of the things we talked about in making boxes that sometimes we talked about this on backstage when I was on stage when I was there was taking our bone folder, right, just to give those extra creases on some of those that need the extra crease. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to do this here just like we did the other, except this is the bottom, and I'm just going to glue this in together down here. Just flat. I was going to say, my husband actually kicked me out of the house and said, go to your favorite tea shop, which I get a blend, which is more like a drink. The thickness of it is like when you do a blend, it's like it's almost like a milkshake. Not as quite as a milkshake, but close, right? But it's with tea and all the other stuff they mix in with it. That is my favorite, carried over from Christmas, and they still make it for me, is Run Run Rudolph. So I mean, I went up there. Got away from the noise. I finished up a few of my kits. So, I come home and I'm doing this. That's all right. Just remind myself God still loves me, right? I still love you guys. My family still loves me. And it's like, wow. All right, so we're just going to work with it. I'm not sure if I'll give it to my friend or if I'll redo it. I don't know. I know some special peeps that'll most probably want to take it. All right. And I'm going to trim here. Trim out. Yes, I went, I got to talk to my oldest son. I explained to him what I was creating and doing this evening, because there was so much noise here. Talked to him for an hour as I drank my tea and made some cards. Some cards I made were from Kit. So for me, on the airplane, and layovers and all that, I had like 6 kits with me. And so I was busy doing kits on the plane. I didn't do any stamping. I can't stamp and be on the airplane and do that, but I can at least put stuff together. And I would first put everything in the envelope to make the card just like we would for a treat or a class. And then I would once I did all that, had all the pieces there just in case, the plane got bumpy or anything. I had everything organized. And then I sat there and started making them. So I didn't do any stamping. I did everything I could except for stamping. And I couldn't cut ribbon because I wasn't going to bring scissors on the plane or get them confiscated. So I didn't do any scissor cutting. But everything else I could do, I did, right? And that's just me. I like to just, unless you got a good book to read or something like that, trying to find a newspaper at the airport. Locally, I did not. Locally, they told me they didn't have them anymore. They didn't do it anymore. So I didn't have one to go with me. So I had kits, right? Just a great way to make some stuff and get some things done. Because I'd already made my make and takes, so I had all my make and takes ready to give to people. I had all my gifts ready to give to people. So I had. Right, I made some Easter cards for the people at the nursing home. So I worked on those. So this has just got to dry a moment. I think I confiscated, when I went out of town, I confiscated all my big things that I use. Alright, so we're going to turn around and do the same. This is the bottom. So 1.5" versus 1.38" makes a big difference. You're talking about a 1/2 inch difference. And even this. Ta-da. So I'm going to say, if I've got this one off as well too, I think I'm just going to like say, you know what? Call it a day. To show you all the new stuff we got coming. Alright, so yeah, that's going to work here. Okay. Alright, so let me get some glue here. Get this on here. So yes, there's just so much exciting stuff. So if you haven't seen all my different postings, I try to post a bunch of different friends. I'll post some more. And I got a bunch of swaps. So swaps is like I design a card and you've designed cards and you get one of mine, I get one of yours. It's basically good amount. So we just inspire each other that way, right? So I still have some swaps to post to show you what we had. And this one I get to trim this a little bit. Oh, I couldn't even tell you how many swaps. I've got so many swaps. I ain't had a chance to even look at them really that much myself, right? It was just because I was on a panel. So the panel was 4 times during the event. So it was going from a panel to lunch to whatever to volunteer. I also volunteered. So you'll see it coming. I'll be posting more photos of the swaps, and then I've got more photos of people. And I've got more photos of some different samples of stuff coming out. So for demonstrators, we get to actually get those items and do them in advance so we can make things in advance to show you. But as a customer, so we get to do that on the 24th. And then on the 1st of May, somewhere right in there, then you as a customer gets to see all the different stuff. And you can get a catalog. We'll be ordering catalogs and all that now and everything else. So, okay, this is the bottom of the box, okay? So let's get this finished here, and this is the top. But, you know, exciting things. So I actually had a friend call while I was at tea. I was on the phone with my son, so I didn't get the call. And then I had my matron of honor in my wedding 27 years ago called me to thank me because I sent her a gift. She was a door prize winner. Alright, okay, so now you can get the idea now. This is how it's going to do. It's going to slide in just like this. Put this in now. So I still have stuff to unpack and everything else. Okay, so it's just going to like that. The card's going to go in here. So I didn't want to do the other one because this is going to be dealing with peaches, alright? So I'm going to have to trim this down just a little bit. It looks like I need it, because I wanted to just have like about 1/8 all the way around. Alright, so, oh yeah. Okay, so let's just cut off 1/4 of an inch. That's what that looks like to me. Yeah, it's just 1/4 of an inch. Let's see how that looks. It's easier on this one, right? Just take a little bit off at a time. I'm going to hold on to that in case I need it to rescue me. And then I was going to wrap ribbon around it. So we really didn't have a ribbon. I think they'll be just fine. I could do a smidgen more. Now, when I say a smidgen, I'm going to show you something, because I actually do that in one of my instructions. So for me, a smidgen... So let's say I'm supposed to be at 1/4 of an inch, and I want it to be smaller. A smidgen is that teeny tiny line right there. It's in centimeters to that side. That is a smidgen. All right? So when I say smidgen, that's what a smidgen is. Now in this particular case, because the little bitty line isn't right here, the cutting line is here. So I just moved it over to the edge of the brown area. And so that's what a smidgen is. It's just enough to make it just a little bit smaller, just a little, right? Without making it dramatic, and it still lets you do what you want to do. So see how that is? I can now pick up this here. So I'm actually going to flip it to this side because I have to go into the back. So I'm just going to put this here. Now I'm going to use ribbon. So we don't, the ribbon that I used on the other one's just not going to work because it's too dark. So what I've done is taken this here, and this is the basic beige. So yeah, so when we do ribbon shares and paper shares, I get the leftovers, and so I just, I've got something else now I use instead, but this is what I was using at the time. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to actually wrap this around, and I'm just going to use my tear and tape. That, let's see, just used it a minute ago, buried it. I was busy correcting my other hair. So I'm just going to use tear and tape. So nobody's going to see this, right? So when nobody's going to see the tear and tape, I just use, or yes, right, it's going to be covered with a tag. So I'm going to center this because that's what I was going to do anyway. And I'm just going to use my tear and tape to hold the ribbon down. Okay, it's going to be hidden. Nobody's going to know except if they watch the video, right? And I'm just going to take this, I'm going to come around like this here. I'm going to unwind this. I actually have, if you think of, what is it, embroidery thread that you do hand embroidery, and you have those little cardboard things that anyway that you can that you wind it around. So actually I have those in bigger sizes to do my ribbon on now. When I have just a little bit of ribbon like I got right here and it's not a roll, I can do that, and that's what I do nowadays. This is just some extra I had, and I just wanted to go ahead and use it up because I've actually got it on a roll now. Okay, and I'm just going to take it, and I'm just going to tape it down, okay, because it's going to be, it's two-sided tape, and it's like this here. Now you have to tell me what you think. I thought it'd be sort of cute, because I really like this other ribbon too, that works with this. This is the, I'm trying to think which set it went with, but it goes really well with this. Originally I was going to just have this here, but you can't see it. I had to have another color beneath it. So I wanted to add this on here too. And again, I'll do the same thing. I'm just going to use the tear and tape to sit there and hold it down. And I'll go from there. This gives it a little extra color because we're just going to have a white tag on top. So again, it doesn't matter, right? All this is going to be shown underneath. If you sew, you know what I'm talking about. The stuff is hidden. You make a quilt, the stuff is hidden. Only you know what you've done underneath. I've done that before. If you ever had to totally tear something out, I couldn't, right? I couldn't seam rip it out. I had just cut around the fabric, and then I just put fabric over it. So, the only people that I know are the people that I tell, right? Yeah. Alright, so let's get this down here. And then we're just going to take this and put this on the lid of the box, right? Okay, so I'm just going to glue it. Yeah, one thing is we don't have any new adhesives coming out, but I did, before I left town, I accidentally bought sheets of foam sheets. Didn't even realize we had foam sheets. I thought I was getting the dimensionals, and I got foamed sheets. So I asked somebody, what do you do with foam sheets? Because I mean, I got like 8 of them. They said, oh, use it for the alphabets. That way your alphabets are up and puffy. For those giant ones for the party thing. I thought, oh, okay, so I'll be making some party banners to use that. Okay, so we have that right there. Now what we're going to do is I have my tag. And I actually, so see, it's going to cover it up, right? It's going to be just like that. We're going to cover it up. And I actually want to use pecan pie. Because the peaches, I like pecan pie with the peaches, and I've already got my stamp ready to go. And it says on here, homemade for you. And the thing is, we don't really have any gold bling to go with this, or cherry cobbler. So I haven't decided what bling I'm going to use with this yet. But I'll find some bling. You know what, the other thing is we can color our own bling too. And you'll have to tell me, I could actually put the blue on here. it'll go with it. It's just because I was using peaches though, right? So if you saw my card last week, I did this here. I hand cut out peaches, and I put a brown top on top of that. So that's what I sort of wanted to do again, was to do something with that color scheme. But I can at least go ahead and get this on. And the other thing is on this other one here, I actually used the embossing folder. It has strawberries on it. And again, I was using peaches. Let's go and get this on here. All right. We can put the blue bling on here, but I'm really most going to end up changing it out because I really sort of wanted something on the peachy side, or the other color that goes really good with this. It's I had it out a while ago. This color right here. If you look at the peaches right here, see this color right here? This is actually Calypso Coral. Calypso Coral. See, this is really not going to be very peachy right here, so I'm going to have to find something to go with this. I could do the blue, but there's a lot of blue, right? I really wanted to stick with the peach theme and the green here. So I have to figure out what I want to do with that here. But the main thing is, right, we want to be able to take the lid off. We want to be able to put this in here, right? And then, because I want her to have several, so I'm going to make her several of those. I'm almost trying to make her 3 or 4. It's not her birthday or anything, but she likes peaches. And that just shows you the height. So I'm not too bad off. Right there when she put the card in there, better than I thought it was going to be. But we definitely need some bling, right? And we definitely need something down here. So we're a little limited what we have here. One of the things I thought we could do was cut out. Most of this isn't geared toward the peaches, right? But I thought this would be cool, and I don't know if it'll work on this or not, but we'll see. Because you saw the one I did earlier, but here's our peaches right here. I really like it. So we have our green. You know what we could do, though? You could always, as I'm thinking about this, looking at this and looking at this right here, I could most probably, right, I could take Granny Apple Green, which I have here, at the bottom, and I most probably could take something and put dots on it, right? Just get a little extra something. See, I think this is going to be too tall. They don't have any in the small jars. They have orange. They have, yes, they have orange, they have lemon, but they have nothing with peaches on the really tiny little jars that I cut out for the other set there. We'll see how it looks, okay? The World at Hand is still out there. Most I could use some twine, but our twine isn't a navy color, it's black. So I didn't do that. I was trying to think what else we have. Secret Sea, but we really don't have something along the navy here. Right to springtime. Get this going here. You know, I can always flick some color at the bottom too. So I thought it would just be cool, right, to have something right up here just like this. That's going to have her peaches, and there's peaches as well. So I'm going to put some dimensional. So what I want to do when I do this, right, I can put this right here. You can see that if I did this down here, right, I just need to make sure it's lifted so you can take the top off, and I'm okay with that too. I can either do it up here, see what you think, if you like it there, or if you prefer it down on the bottom. I could go with that either or. Either or, I could go with that real easy. I cut out some peaches. Well, last week I did that. So a couple of weeks ago when I was live, I did this. I cut out the peaches. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think with the jar. Whether I should leave it on the bottom. I can always flick some color. Come back later and flick some color on the bottom of that box. I could also take a pin or something and actually put dots on it myself. The other I'm going to do here is I'm cutting out a peach. But you can see, I think that pecan pie really looks good with it. Yeah, I want this to really look homemade looking, right? Because it's going to put some homemade recipes in here. We could add peaches down here at the bottom if we wanted to, right? We could sit there and put our jar down over there if we wanted to, as well as over here. Have peaches down here. That looks pretty nice, right? To have our peaches right there next to that. Okay, I could live with that. And let's see here. Let me get a dimensional, put that on. I want a large dimensional. Okay. Let's see. I'm not seeing any comments. Jennifer, are you seeing any comments? I said, were you seeing any comments? I don't know. What do you think? So I've got the jar here because they don't have any small jars in peaches, right? They only give you the large jars. But what I did on my card that I made last time, I actually set there in. So actually this here, as long as you lift this up on dimensionals, you can slide the lid up and down, right? And I can put all the peaches I want to down here. So let me do that. So I was just seeing what you liked. Just what I was trying to find out. Are you coming here to give me your 2 cents? They don't have the teeny tiny little jars like I used on the first one. They only have the peach jars, the larger ones down here. Like I said, I can always flick the ink on, or I can even put dots down here on the bottom by using, I've used several things before, right? You can do it with an eraser, you can put dots on there, you can flick dots on there. Let me at least get this part here on. Okay, there we go. So here's our first lid, right? Here was the bottom here. So you can see we've totally changed out the colors. And I'm just taking, people always want to know, what do you do with these pieces that aren't, right? Part of it's cut off. Where are you going to cover it, right? It just looks like it belongs. And then you can add other peaches to it too. So there's plenty of peaches we could continue adding. Let's add one more peach, because at least give us 3 items down there. This time I'll use a whole peach. Or whole peach slice, I should say. Because see, you even got the small pieces down here as well too. If they had habanero peppers or something like that, I would add that as well. But we don't have that, right? So I'm working with what we have. And we're just going to turn around and cut these out. Okay, this has been an interesting day today. Oh, now see how that looks just by adding a peach up there. So as I'm talking about bling, I don't really have to have bling, right? I could just sit there and add a peach up there. That looked really sort of nice right there too. All right, we'll get that there. So we're just fussy cutting or hand cutting. And a lot of times that's just how we get some of the stuff we get. Alright, so see how I'm just putting a peach up here as well. Can just add a little something there as well too. But if I actually put it up here like it just sort of landed a minute ago, I would sit there and reverse sides, right? So let's do that. I think I like that really, the way it landed. It just landed just fine. Then that's fine. Then I would just flip it over here. And if I had to add more peaches because I glued the other one down, I could, right? It's all about choices. So in this particular case, I might just go ahead and bring it back over here. I really liked it over there, though. I thought it went really nice with the curve. Since I already cut it, we'll just keep on working this one around until we get it. Okay, let's just do it like that. Okay, so I'm just going to actually put this down with glue. But I'm just going to do it on the top part, right? Because the bottom part's not going to happen. Because it's going to be up. It's not getting in touch. Right. The only reason I put one down there just to keep it the same height. Which I could do that if I wanted. But let's at least get it going right here. Just like that. So see, most of it's right there anyway. Okay, so then I'm going to put this down here with dimensionals, which are already on here. Again, we made sure they were below, so you can pull them the top off and on. And then we can just add some Wink Castella, and we are done. Right? So you can see how that's just going to lift up and down. We made it homemade for them. And so Wink Castella is still going to be around just because they've got some new colors coming out. So if you missed looking at some of the stuff, they are having glitter brushes that are going to be in the new colors. They're not going to be out when the catalog first comes out. Well, for us as demonstrators. But they will be in. And there's the 5 new colors that are going to be in the glitter brushes. And I just added a little bit there. And you know, this is one thing we did, and I showed that we did. We were at the retreat, right? You can flick on here just like you do. So we're not limited to just paper, right? Get everything out of the way as I do this here. So we can just as easily, right? We just need to make sure we got some Wink Castella in there. So you can see the liquid right there, and that's the main thing. You'll make sure this one almost looks like it's not as juicy as it used to be, but still has some in there. And we're just going to come and flick it, right? Most guys have flicked it so much. And we could easily do this with one of the blender pens too, right? So if I wanted to flick the green like I was telling you, I could do that. If I wanted to flick some color just up here on the tag itself, I can do that as well too, right? You can do whatever you want. And it just gives it that extra little sparkle, right? And there you go. Whoop, whoop. So you can see just a little bit of sparkle right there. So, all right, so here's what we made this evening. So I'm happy the way that turned out, so I am not going to do that as a do-over. I'm going to work on making these recipe cards for my friend, and give them a gift. So here we go. So we did the one with the peaches here. And we have the one right here. And if I find some bling, I'll color it. If I don't have any, I'll color it. Or I'll find some other color. All right? So that's how easy it is. You can make several recipe cards to go on the inside. And you've given your friend a very nice gift. So I hope you enjoyed that, right? Because it's all about creating, sharing, and giving, right? So the better, right? It's all about creating, sharing, and giving. So go out there, create, share, and give, and make a difference in someone's life. We still have one more week, so next week we'll be making a card. So basically you get 4 projects, right? So we have 3 cards, and you'll have this also that you'll be getting if you make a purchase of $35 or more from my online store. But don't forget, you have until Sunday to take advantage of the mystery bag, right? The Bonanza sale that ties in my 5-year anniversary with Stampin' Up! As well as on stage. So that's through Sunday, and that's with an order of $50 or more, and it's out there, it's posted. We also have the retreat sign-up coming up this weekend as well, too. I was trying to think what else we have going on. There's a lot going on right now, right? So with that, be blessed. I want to thank you for supporting us not only here, but also on YouTube and Instagram. And with that, I look forward to seeing you on Wednesday, where we'll do our last card for this set. Be blessed. Have an amazing week, and see you soon. Bye.